get fired up, people. It's time for the early line on a Wednesday and a hump day Wednesday. It is unbelievable storylines playing out right in front of our face. Team USA on the brink now of elimination in the World Baseball Classic after the game yesterday against Italia. We take a look at an NFL trade that shook the world up and now coming back to reshake the world up at this point. So many hot topics, which includes an NBA player crossed over into the 80s. And I don't mean the 1980s. The next 2 hours are ours, right here on the early line. It's Donnie Rightside, and it's Joe Ranieri. It's time to get down to the business, Joe.
Yeah, a lot happened over the last 24 hours, Donnie. Not to mention, we're in the midst of some craziness in college basketball already. The madness has begun in these conference tournaments. And we got a lot to get to, including the NFL. My goodness, what a 24 hours it has been.
Tampering left and right. Oh, no, you're lying to me. Give me my picks back. The hottest topic of the day. It's time to get caffeinated, Joe. Deliver it to the people.
Well, Donnie, we need to talk about the absolute circus that we witnessed last night here in Miami. Because if you ever needed proof that the NBA has completely lost its way, then you have to look no further than the box score from the Heat and the Wizards last night. Now, Bam Adebayo last night made history. He dropped 83 points in a game. That is the second most in the history of the NBA, passing Kobe Bryant's legendary 81-point performance. Now, on the surface, that sounds like an unbelievable accomplishment. But then you look at the how and the why, and it's enough to make you want to change the channel forever. Bam didn't just catch fire from the field. He spent the entire night walking to the free throw line. He had, you ready for this? 43 free throw attempts. 43. He made 36 of them. Both of those are all-time NBA records. Now imagine fouling a guy so many times that he has to go and shoot 43 free throws in a single game that didn't go to triple overtime. Now, in fairness, the Heat realized early on that the history was in the making in the building. They did everything they could to get Bam the ball. They were up by 25 points when under 2 minutes to play. They were actually fouling the Wizards just to get the ball back to give Bam a few more shots at passing Kobe. Eric Spoelstra was out there challenging charges while up 26 points. They were even purposely missing free throws to try and get Bam an offensive rebound so he could try to score again. Now, Donnie, I'm old enough. I watched Kobe drop those 81 against Toronto. And I can assure you that no Laker was fouling the Raptors while up 20 just to get Kobe 82 points. But this is the sad state of the association right now. This is what happens when you allow teams to completely disrespect the fundamental principle of sports. You play to win the damn game, not to manufacture a stat sheet for a TikTok highlight. While everyone is up in arms today, I am not blaming Bam for taking advantage of the situation. If the defense is going to hand you 83 points on a silver platter, you take them. I'm blaming the Washington Wizards and Adam Silver for allowing this to happen. They are beyond in tank mode right now. They are in disrespect mode because they disrespected every generation of player that came before them. If this was the bad boy Pistons of the 80s or the Knicks and Oakley of the 90s, I promise you, Bam Adebayo would have been taken out on a stretcher before they ever allowed him to walk to the line 43 times in a game. It's a different generation, I get it. But this is another nail in the coffin of what used to be the toughest league in the world. When players lose respect for the game, Donnie, and themselves, you get a product that gives fans every reason to stop watching. Why tune in to watch a manufactured record against the team that isn't even rec league quality? So congratulations to Bam Adebayo, one of the truly nicest guys in the league, and to the Miami Heat for once again showing us, Donnie, that the NBA is very much dead in so many ways.
It's a great topic, and as you guys have noticed, now we run commercial breaks. Sometimes trivia will pop up, and I think this encapsulates everything, Joe. In 10 years, if we run that same trivia, can you name the 3 guys that scored more than 80 points in an NBA game? You go, oh, Wilt had 100. I remember Kobe's. Who was that third guy that got there? Insignificant is the right word we're looking at. Yes, it's 83 points. Yes, it's almost impossible to do. But as Joe points out, this wasn't a 150 to 148 game where they kept going back to Bam in a close game down the stretch, and he kept scoring points. It turned into a mockery. And the one thing we hate as sports fans is when it turns into a mockery. We see right through it here. Yeah, Bam got the 83. Unbelievable. But I'm telling you right now, in a decade, people won't remember those 83 points because it was insignificant here. Let's get to those hottest topics here, Joe, with the early lineup, and that includes Max Crosby. I couldn't believe it. I was watching baseball yesterday in the WBC, and flashing across my screen is Max Crosby trade rescinded here. Goes back to the Raiders, who spent hundreds of millions of dollars in the free agent market, now have to absorb his contract, or does he get traded again? And some people talking about the Baltimore Ravens actually had buyer's remorse on Max Crosby, and it wasn't really about the physical, Joe. What happened here?
Well, and, listen, everything happens for a reason, right? Yeah. And maybe this works out for both of them, because we just watched what the Raiders did in the first couple of days, right, of free agency and what they've got coming along. I don't know. If I'm Max Crosby, maybe I'm okay with the fact that, you know what, maybe the Raiders are actually on the right track. Or maybe that bridge has been burned, Donnie, and the fact is, if it ain't the Ravens, it'll be somebody else willing to give up a couple of number 1 picks to get him.
And it might be fast, too, because, we don't know if we want to dip it in. You do know that free agency officially starts, which means you have to have those contracts in order, and absorbing that cap hit there for the Raiders. Maybe they move quickly or not. Maybe it really is a problem with the pending physical that he has. Talking about pending physicals, Caleb Foster. Duke was roaring into the ACC tournament and hopefully into March Madness. Now could be down a couple of players here. Caleb Foster, Duke star guard, out indefinitely with a foot fracture. Come on, Duke. You were rolling.
Yeah, and it was funny because Shire, the head coach, he hasn't ruled him out for the entire March Madness. So it's interesting. We'll see whether or not they can get him back. But again, when you're the Duke Blue Devils, you've got 4- and 5-star players sitting on the bench backing guys up. So something tells me Duke will be just fine, certainly through the ACC tournament here, Donnie. March Madness, it might catch up with them.
Trey Hendrickson been asking for the moon and the stars in order to get paid. And typically when you are a pass rusher, the first thing that gets paid in free agency is the pass rusher. Trey Hendrickson still has multiple teams interested, but asking for $30 to $40 million per year. That's why he's still out there, Joe.
Listen, do you need an edge rusher or don't you need an edge rusher? Because this guy has been one of the best. It's one of those positions that is an absolute necessity to lock down if you're going to contend. Somebody is going to pay him, Donnie, and I hope it's not Cincinnati. I hope he has an opportunity to go someplace else.
Geno Smith, Joe, get excited. Jets Nation, you found your franchise quarterback again.
Next. Just move on. Next. Can't. Move on.
Travis, by the way, Travis Kelce crediting T Swizzle for putting them back in those pads, Joe. But we believe in it.
I told you T Swift had something to do with it. She signed off on it, which is probably the only reason he's allowed to come back and play.
Steve Kerr says 82 games, too much. Let's get it down to 72 games. I got a notion. Let's get it under 50 games, Joe. Crying about in the NBA. League's too long. Season's too long, Joe.
Yeah, and then you drop it to 50, Kerr, and Steph Curry only plays in 20 of them. Yes, congrats.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know what they're doing here. Gary Woodland also opening up on PTSD struggle post-brain surgery here. Much more on today's show. We got hot topics that are going to be flying, which includes Spreadlines coming up next on a Wednesday. We'll be right back. Top spread lines of the day right here on a Wednesday on the early line. It's Donnie right side. It's Joe Ranieri. Big game topics, tournament conference play underway. Teams punching their tickets left and right, and coaches hoping to coach one more day. You know who's on the docket today at 12:30 p.m. Eastern? It's the Big 12. It's Arizona State taking on Iowa State. Yes, that Arizona State team that said, hey, Bobby, as soon as you guys are out, you're out of a job as well. They survived yet another day, but they are double-digit underdogs today to Iowa State, getting 11.5 points and a total, Joe, of 147.5. Can the miracle continue for ASU? A couple more wins to get them to the tournament, or this is Bobby's farewell day against Iowa State. What's your spread line today?
Well, it's funny because Arizona State was in total command of that game against the Baylor Bears yesterday from the opening tip, and they held them off in the second half. But listen, Arizona State, believe it or not, Donnie, the two times they've played Iowa State this year, you know, Iowa State actually trailed in the second half in those games, but Arizona State ultimately faded down the stretch. They just couldn't get enough offense from anyone. But, you know, listen, they seem to be a little ticked off that their coach is not coming back, or at least as nobody has said anything at Arizona State to talk about any sort of extension or anything like that. Plus, how do you not like a team with a guy whose name is Pig Johnson? I mean, come on. You got to be Arizona State all day long. They are a big underdog here, but I mean, who are we kidding? They have been a big underdog all season against some of these big boys. Let's see if they can keep it close here, Donnie. I have my doubts, but nobody gave them a shot against Baylor, and yet here they are moving on.
Big boys are playing, and again, we love to see those time frames here. Just talked about a game that's going to start around noon. How about in the SEC? Oh, yeah, starting around noon as well, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. It's LSU taking on Kentucky. Overnight, these lines sat at 6.5. This morning, we're seeing 7.5s and 8.5s in the marketplace now as a favorite for Kentucky. The total in this game listed at 151.5. Kentucky, LSU. Spread line for you, Joe, is what?
Well, this is another one here where Kentucky pretty much already solidified, right, heading into March Madness. They are not a bubble team. They've got nothing to worry about as far as that goes. And if you're LSU, well, LSU, like a lot of these dogs here that we're seeing early on in these conference tournaments, Donnie, they had nothing to worry about. Your season is over after this, so you've got go out there and lay it all out on the line. And so far, what we've seen in a lot of spots in these early conference games is, yeah, they're laying it and they're leaving it all out there. The question is, what Kentucky team shows up here? I'm kind of shocked they're not double-digit favorites here, but we'll see. I mean, Kentucky keeps talking about defense, defense, defense. We'll see if they bring any here today, but kind of hard to trust Kentucky laying 7.5 when they just have not proven to be consistent enough to lay that kind of number in this spot.
Let's get down to the Queen City in Charlotte. The Spectrum Center taking center stage. That's the ACC tournament today. California still seems interesting that they're in the ACC. Going west coast to east coast to take on Florida State. Overnight, Joe, we saw these lines around -2.5 as a favorite to Florida State. Now we're seeing 3.5s and 4.5s in the marketplace as a favorite for the Florida State Seminoles. The total in this game, Joe, listed at 152.5. Cal, Florida State. What is your spread line here?
Well, listen, Florida State very much alive and well here in this ACC tournament and could make us a couple of bucks here, Donnie, early on here. They have really transformed after the first month of the year. They were terrible on so many levels here. Young team, new coach, guys that never played with one another, but how they finished the season with nothing short of impressive. They have given everybody fits. It's not an easy walkover matchup against the Golden Bears, but you nailed it. We saw Stanford have to come across the country yesterday, couldn't beat Pitt, right? Now you got these West Coast teams having to come across and play the East. It's never an easy thing to do here. I like Florida State. I agree with the market move in their direction. Cal is not going to lay down, but I think Florida State has just playing too well right now not to back them in this spot.
Let's flip it over to the association tonight. A 10 o'clock start for the Houston Rockets and the Denver Nuggets. In elevation we go. Overnight line -5. Now we're seeing most outlets, Joe, sitting at a -5.5 price point for the Denver Nuggets as the home favorite in a total that's listed at 229.5, up from 228.5 last night. Rockets, Nuggets tonight. What's that spread line for you?
Well, Rockets handled business there thanks to Kevin Durant. He didn't get to the free throw line 43 times last night, but he did drop 29 points in a winning effort over the Raptors. Now they got to go to Denver, which is never an easy place to play. But my goodness, are you going to play any defense, Denver? Are you going to be able to get a stop at any particular point here? Because you haven't been doing that, and that's been the issue for the Denver Nuggets. Listen, Houston will be more than happy to go toe-to-toe with them. Houston's going to bring some defense. That total seems to be creeping down a little bit, Donnie. I can't back an under with the Denver Nuggets here at this point. I think it would only be over for me in this spot.
6 games tonight in the association. The nightcap, Joe, is the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Los Angeles Clippers in L.A. Overnight line -1.5. Now we're seeing most markets here shifting to -2.5 as a favorite for the Los Angeles Clippers, and a total that's listed at 225.5 here. Ticket count on the Clippers side and the line movement as well, Joe. What's your spread line here?
Well, I do not understand Minnesota. I mean, quietly, Donnie, they won 8 of their last 10 heading into last night against the Lakers. They were rested, ready to go, and they absolutely laid an egg here. Now they got to travel a little further south, take on the Clippers, who, you know how I feel about this Clippers team, Donnie. They are rolling. As long as you got a healthy and motivated Kawhi Leonard in that lineup with Darius Garland and Mathurin, this is a serious team. This, I think, is a game I'd also be looking at an over. I think points are coming in this one here tonight.
Intuit Dome is where they're going to play that game. And as we said, 6 games on the card tonight, Joe. Yesterday, I went with an NBA under. It's like, Sixers, not much there. Maxey now out 3 more weeks at this point. They shot the lights out in that game and absolutely destroyed my under of 228.5. So a bounce back is needed tonight. Don't worry. We'll come up with a solid play. That's how we get down on the early line. NFL news and notes on deck next. You don't want to miss some of these. Trust me. Fun times had by all. It is a Wednesday, and that's how we get down to business. We got a lot of great stuff here coming up on the show for you. Know we end the show there with little PME action. We give out best bets on these shows, and also some of the best guests in the business, which includes Kevin Walsh, host of Game Time Decisions, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. right here on the SportsGrid Network. And we always love to spend time with Cam Stewart. And typically, Cam Stewart comes on Thursdays, but now we're in golf season. We need those golf wagers here before the tournaments actually begin. Cam Stewart will be up on deck with us as well. Two great guests, 2 great hours. It's how we get down to business. And the business of the NFL is what we're going to talk about next show. Shocked to see it. Thought I was getting punked. Max Crosby trade rescinded by the Baltimore Ravens. Unhappy with the medicals once we saw that exam. But the question is now coming up and saying, wait a second, you knew he was injured. We've been telling you that the process has been great. He should be back late here before training camp and ready to go for a great season. You knew that, Baltimore. Something changed in Baltimore when the medicals got there. Now all of a sudden, Baltimore's like, give us back our picks. You can have Max back. This is a really interesting story, Joe, during the tampering period.
It really is, Donnie, because we're not talking, listen, we're not talking about a B player here, you know what I mean, or somebody. We're talking about one of the premier edge rushers in the game that the Ravens initially were willing to give up 2 number 1 draft picks to get. And then all of a sudden, the doctors and medical staff come back and be like, I don't know. Were the Raiders hiding something? I mean, wasn't this the guy, Donnie, that they literally had to have removed from the building because he wasn't going to allow them to sit him the last couple of games of the season? Wasn't that the... So what is the issue here? Because I don't know. I really, it doesn't make any sense when you're talking about a player of Max Crosby's ability to all of a sudden now have some sort of strange failing of the physical. Doesn't make any sense to me here, Donnie.
No, it doesn't. And also understand this, okay, it goes back to the Raiders, and they have plenty of cap room to play for the Raiders. Trust me, he's already checked out on the Raiders, was looking forward to be a Baltimore Raven. He's not just going to show back up in that building in Vegas, like, okay, time to hit the weights here, and let's have a great season coming up. The interesting part, Joe, is going to be when Max Crosby will find another team, and also, what's that price point? You just saw it's 2 first-rounders. Now we have questions about medical. Probably not going to be that high. The Raiders thought they had the 2 first. Now they might only get 1 first. I mean, just an absolute mess where we didn't see that coming. But breaking news last night, had that up on the television. We'll continue to bring that breaking news if something happens, certainly during the show. The Jets, they found their quarterback, as we talked about here in the early lineup, Joe. You are a Jets fan. When you heard Geno back to the Jets, was it elation? Was it jersey buying time? Or was it, you know what? See you in a couple years, Jets.
I thought I was being punked. Honestly, I thought it was like one of those fake Adam Schefter accounts. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, wait, like they're like, wait, what? They traded for him? Yes, they traded for Geno Smith. I can't believe it. But I'll tell you what, glass half full here for the Jets side, right? At least this means they're not going to reach for a quarterback in this draft, which was, again, a little concerning here because it is the Jets after all. But it appears that they are clearly in 2027 mode to get their quarterback, and this is nothing more than a placeholder. And they don't pick up any of his salary that the Raiders overpaid him. So the Raiders are taking that up. It's not costing the Jets a whole lot. So from that perspective, I like the deal.
By the way, this tweet we're going to pop up here from when they had Geno Smith to when they got Geno back. It's a lot of bums on that roster, but also there's a lot of high draft picks on there. Yep. There's a lot of Hall of Fame prospects, talking about Aaron Rodgers. Is it the Jets' curse, or is it these players were just cooked because Sam Darnold just won a Super Bowl out here? Aaron Rodgers going to the Hall of Fame. The Jets can't seem to get it right, Joe.
Well, it's not the same Jets team that got rid of him, right? Different regime, different everything, but it's still the Jets being the Jets here. I mean, the Jets basically got rid of him and watched all his good years play with other teams. But listen, at this point in the spot, they got 3 number 1 picks in next year's draft, right? Yeah. Geno's a placeholder, and we've seen this before. So can Frank Reich get enough out of Geno Smith where they're at least competent? I think he can. Geno is, interceptions aside, he's not terrible, but, again, the Jets have all of the leverage here in 2027. Don't reach for anything stupid quarterback-wise in this draft.
The Dolphins. Look, every team has dead cap amounts. You cut a player, you trade a player, you're going to have to eat some of that. But the Miami Dolphins have 50% of their cap basically on players that will no longer be in Miami. My goodness. More NFL news and notes next. Then we'll flip it over to some college basketball for you. We'll be right back. Joe, we opened up last segment talking about Max Crosby, and we are a live show here. If some news comes down the pipeline, we'd like to get it out to the people. Couple quick notes here. Albert Breer about 20 minutes ago. The Raiders will honor all agreements they made with free agents, because the question is, oh no, if Max is back on the team, how much it counts against the cap? They spent a ton of money in the tampering spot. They say they will honor those contracts and they will be fine. Then Diana Rossini just a few moments ago tweets out that teams were interested in trading for Max Crosby, including the Ravens, did have conversations with his surgeon, Neil Elitrash. So they already got some of the preview, but now it looks like they said, well, it looks good short term, but we don't know about long term. A lot of fishy stuff coming into the scenarios, Joe, but we're getting updates here on a minute-by-minute basis on Max Crosby right now.
Yeah, and the big question is here, because what you're hearing from Max Crosby's agent and doctors and team is that, listen, he is recovering from the injury. He's ahead of schedule, according to his surgeon here, and he remains on track to start the season and be as dominant as he's been. So did the Ravens see something and their doctors see something different, or was this buyer's remorse here, Donnie, and they used the failed physical as an excuse to get back their two number one picks? Very strange. I don't think we'll ever know, by the way, but my goodness, the Raiders, well, hey, listen, can't go wrong, Raiders. You will have a dominant pass rusher if nothing else goes on here.
Yeah, I think it's a case of both, Joe. Like, I think they liked the move and then realized how much they actually lost in free agency and what they could do with 2 firsts. And maybe Max was only going to be good for 2 years and you had to pay him a lot of money. Interesting stuff, though, in the NFL, which also includes Isaiah Pacheco on the move. Why? Well, you get a superstar running back in Kansas City now from a Super Bowl champion. And then you say to yourself, well, I'm looking for work here. Then you take a look at David Montgomery, who's on the move from Detroit down to the Texans, and you fill that spot with Isaiah Pacheco. I don't mind this move. That's Jahmyr Gibbs' team, but you still needed that thunder and lightning type of punch if Pacheco can stay healthy, Joe.
Yeah, and if he can, Donnie, it's a great, 1-2 situation there without a doubt. A definite change of pace, although he's still got the ability to break it there, Pacheco, but it just, you can't be, he's not, you can't be giving him 30, 40 carries a game here and expect Gibbs to last very long. So you need an alternate back, and I think they found a pretty good one there.
Yeah, not bad, cheap there, and you do need a backup running back. That's what they got here. Interesting news also yesterday coming out of New England. Romeo Doubs heads to the Patriots from the Packers. A 4-year deal worth roughly $70 million. Why is this a big, impactful move? Because we've heard that the Patriots wanted A.J. Brown but couldn't meet the price point of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, have they moved on and Doubs is going to be their number one? Or is this just, you know what? We still are on the hunt for a number one wide receiver. But we had to shore up that receiver room with a true number two. For me, Joe, as an Eagles fan, I love it. I don't want A.J. Brown to be traded. And if it seems like he was going to the Patriots, maybe you're lessening those chances now of him being moved, at least to the Patriots.
Yeah, listen, I don't mind the Romeo Doubs move either. Again, another guy that if he can stay healthy, I think just adds another layer and another weapon to Drake May and what the Patriots are looking to do. So, we've seen this from the Patriots over the last couple of decades, right? A player and a receiver like Romeo Doubs turns out to be pretty darn vital there when the season starts. So if he can stay healthy, I like the price and I like the move for New England.
I love this. Texans agree to terms with Kaimi Fairbairn on a 2-year, $13 million extension, making the NFL's highest paid kicker, which then I laugh at the Dallas Cowboys, who waited all along to sign Brandon Aubrey, and every day the price goes higher and higher for him. But Fairbairn, how about that? Highest paid kicker in the NFL.
Well, and listen, the guy has done nothing but deliver, right? Consistency matters. There's only a handful of these guys in the league that are worth even locking up to make sure that they don't go someplace else. And it's a philosophical thing, Donnie, right? Because some organizations are like, yeah, we'll just bring 3 more guys in, dime a dozen kind of thing. But when you got a good one that you can rely upon, lock them up there. That's a pretty good idea.
Quick news and notes here on the Buffalo Bills agreeing to terms with Dawson Knox on a 3-year deal. They like their 2 tight end setups up there in Buffalo, added some pieces to the puzzle, keeping Josh Allen happy, and away the Buffalo Bills go, Joe.
Yeah, now the big question is, what are you going to do with Bosa here, right? What is Jody Book? Because he only signed a 1-year deal with the Bills, and he was a wrecker there. I mean, he had a tremendous season. Usually he only plays 3 games and then gets hurt. At least that's what it was like with the Chargers, right? He played great, but they're going to have a decision to make here. They're going to have to figure out what they're doing with him.
Yes, they are. Flip it over. March Madness is going to begin next week, even though we have the conference tournaments this week, and Selection Sunday is finally this Sunday. The Syracuse Orangemen, as they used to be called back in the day in the 1980s in the Big East, you know what we used to enjoy with them? Jim Boeheim making run after run, that stupid matchup zone they used to have, which was so tough to beat. Specifically, they had just 1 day to prepare in March Madness for it. Now we take a look at Syracuse, the once mighty Syracuse basketball team, missing the NCAA tournament 5 straight years. What happened?
Yeah, well, Boeheim's not there anymore. You would think they have enough NIL money to get it going, but nope. It doesn't feel long before there's maybe a little bit of a regime change there for Syracuse basketball coming sooner rather than later. That is just unacceptable with Syracuse basketball. That many missed opportunities and missed March Madnesses, that's not going to be tolerated much longer.
And exactly, like there are no excuses here for Syracuse. Like, what do you want us to do? It's cold weather city, not much going on here. You see what UConn does with men's and women's basketball? What do they got going on in Stewart, Connecticut? Nothing. No excuses, Syracuse. Once a power that can still draw 35,000 fans to watch a basketball game, you should be a powerhouse every time. What a recruiting trip. Hey, it's cold here. Where do you get to the Dome this weekend? Oh, my God, I never saw this many people to watch a basketball game. Inexcusable, Syracuse. Get it together. How about this, Joe? We're always worried about what side the refs are on. That ref must be on Syracuse. That ref must be on Duke today. How about the NCAA to use tech to monitor NCAA tournament refs for betting? What is this about, Joe? Huh?
Yeah. Just to be safe, I guess, Donnie. They're going to monitor, but wouldn't you be monitoring them anyway? Like, why is this like now you're going to start monitoring? What are you saying? There's a chance that maybe, I don't know, there's smoke, there's fire, but it would seem to me, Donnie, like they should have been doing that the entire time to begin with.
Absolutely, they should be. Have news. The rich get richer, as we like to say sometimes in college basketball. Five-star Caleb Holt, top 5 overall recruit, has committed to Arizona, he announced. Joe, he's the number 1 ranked shooting guard. Also, the Wildcats chose the Wildcats over Alabama, Kentucky, and others. How about that?
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, Arizona's going to need to replace some of these stud freshmen that they've got on this team here, because they won't be there next year. But yes, I mean, listen, Arizona is one of the premier college basketball programs in the country. Make no mistake about it, and they got a real good shot at a national championship this year.
Dancing machine. That's Hofstra. Put on those dance shoes, and man, it's been a minute. 75-69 victory over Monmouth. They punched their ticket after 20 plus years. Go ahead, Hofstra. Have your moment in the sun.
Yeah, we know our EP in the control room is probably dancing as you said it there, Donnie. We watch it. We liked him. Sorry, Monmouth, but Hofstra gets it done, punches their ticket, and a great game by them as well.
By the way, rarity in college basketball, not going over 100 points, Joe, but how about 50-50 in the first half and 55 in the second half? Who was that? That was BYU knocking off Kansas State 105-91. That saw A.J. Dibansta 40 points, 9 boards, and 6 assists. They advance in the Big 12 tournament.
We told you yesterday on the spread lines, Donnie, did we not? Listen, this is 166.5 points for a reason. There will be no defense played in this game, and guess what? There was no defense played in that game, Donnie.
By the way, another score. How about Wake Forest, 95-89 in overtime? Some big scores here. More college basketball on the docket today. But you know what's coming up next? It's Cam Stewart. He's going to join us. We got golf. And also, was he the reason the Buffalo Sabres now have a legit hockey team? Could it be? Cam Stewart up next. Stay tuned.
He's a goalie.
It's Wednesday. It's hump day on the early line. It's how we get down to business. And as you know, we got to get our golf fix. We need our hockey fix. And the man with the plan, it's not Donnie Rightside. It's not Joe Ranieri. It's Cam Stewart, looking bright, looking like a ray of sunshine over there, Cam. How we feeling?
Oh, thank you, Donnie. I appreciate that. Shout out to everybody on a beautiful Wednesday morning. But yeah, Daniel Berger, whoa, that was hard to watch last week. Everyone's thinking, should I lay $140 with this guy on a Sunday going into the final round? And the ashtray, Batea's just sitting there almost blowing away in the wind. But I'll tell you, he just hung around and hung around and hung around. And that's the thing, guys. Golf compared to any other sport, just closing the deal, trying to win a tournament, it is so damn tough. But Joe and I were talking in the green room, Donnie. I'll tell you, Daniel Berger, this guy is so damn close. He was out a whole year with a medical exemption. Now he's back. Florida State product, loves Florida golf. It looks like he's getting his game back. And I know one thing about Berger. After what happened last week, he's going to be motivated. He's going to be like ready to go every single damn tournament. He doesn't want to be in the second tier. He wants to be one of the best in the world. So watch out for Berger this week. I take him as a top 20. I would not be shocked if he came out of the gate hot. Joe and Donnie, I couldn't believe it. When the books came out on Sunday night after the Berger collapse, they offered 100-1 on a boost. I had to take it at 100-1. I see him bet down to 60, 55 in some spots. One book offered 100. I clicked it. So I had to do it. He's not my best bet this week. But if you're going to give me Daniel Berger at 100-1, I'm in.
Absolutely. We're going to get to the TPC in just a few moments here, Cam, the Players' Championship. But before we get there, word on the street is when you went from Canada, crossed the border into the United States, and touched Buffalo like the golden touch out here from Michelangelo, Cam, this Buffalo team, they've been waiting decades for this excitement, and they're getting it now. Hockey Town confirmed. How about those Sabres?
Overtime! That's the partying in Buffalo, says Rick Jenneret. And I'll tell you, I had friends at that Tampa Bay game, guys, and I'm telling you, that was one of the games in the last 5. Would you not say that was the best hockey game in 5 years? These guys are up 3. You get paid out. Then they're down a couple. They come back. They win. Carrick gets called up with the team after the trade deadline. 8-7 win over Tampa Bay. I'm watching the Buffalo News. Hi, it's 11:02. I'm Irv Weinstein. Do you know where your children are? No, their children are at the Sabres game. Don't worry about it. They'll get home safe. I'm telling you guys, they're leading with Buffalo. They had a fan autograph session. It was absolutely, it was packed. I watched Buffalo News. They're leading with this stuff now. The Sabres are one of the best stories in sports. If it wasn't a hockey team from Buffalo, it would be like the lead on ESPN every single day, guys. I'm telling you, what this team is doing is nuts. And they're friends with each other. Lindy Ruff's sitting back going, I can't believe what's happening. Donnie, do you see the way they're winning these games? And they just keep on winning. It doesn't matter what situation they're in. Like, how do you bet against them? You can't. We talked about it 2 weeks ago. 16-1 Atlantic. They beat Tampa Bay. What's going on here? They're going to win the Atlantic. That's what's going to happen. I hope these guys go deep in the playoffs for the good people of Buffalo. You're right, Donnie. Why the hell do I live here? I should go there because every time I'm in Buffalo, good things happen for me and Sabre fan.
Cam, what is the ceiling, honestly, for that team, though? I mean, they can win a playoff like the opening round, right? They'll win a series, but I mean, can they make it to the conference finals?
I'm starting to think yes. Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Well, look, okay, Joe. Look at the Florida Panthers now, right? They're not even going to be there. Tampa Bay, they played. They came back and beat. I still think Tampa Bay, when push comes to shove, in a playoff series is a little bit better. And they have goaltending that has performed under pressure. But take a look at the East. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Sabres have beaten every single team there. Like, on the streak, and they're not just beating teams, they're murdering teams. They're beating them early. They come back late. They do it all. I don't know. I was listening to Rasmus Dahlin talk, and he's like, this is a different unit. Like, this is not like Sabre teams in the past. And we didn't expect it from them. But I'm telling you, yeah, I think they can win a couple. Really, if the ceiling, say they go to the Eastern Conference Final, I think that's an insane, successful year for a team that wasn't even supposed to make the damn playoffs and projected to be one of the worst teams. But guys, I'm looking at this conference going, Sabres could beat them. They think about it. Tampa Bay, they can beat. Boston, they can beat. Who else can they beat? They can beat anybody.
Can they beat
that's
Carolina?
The whole thing. They can beat Carolina. That's the one thing about Carolina. They had a 4-2 lead against Pittsburgh, for God's sakes, gave up 2 late goals and had to win in overtime. Like, the Carolina Panthers defense and goaltending is still loose. Trust me, I know Freddie Anderson. He used to play for the Leafs. I know these guys. They're not that good in the playoffs. Everything's fine in the regular season, guys. And then playoffs hit, and then Carolina, they shrink. They shrivel like the Wicked Witch of the West. They look really tough early, then they bend. Buffalo has that hardworking mentality now, and their acquisitions on defense make them a deep team, so they don't have to rely on goaltenders making 40, 50 saves a game, except for when they play Tampa.
The Sabres fans haven't had this much fun since the French Connection back at the Aud and
Remy
all
Robert,
the fog and the smog. I mean, come on now. Let's go. Get a little Mogilny jersey in the stands for us
yeah, Dave
having some fun.
La 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 Fontaine. Merry Christmas, Buffalo Sabres 7, Nordiques 2. Let's talk golf. Are we ready to go to the players' friends?
Let it rip. Let's go. Let it rip. Go ahead.
Let it rip. Well, we go a couple outrights this week. I got a bet boost. Who's playing better? Ludwig Gobert. This guy is really starting to get his act together. I can't admit, I got a boost at 28. He's around 22 to 25. Siwoo Kim, anything over 20. He has won this tournament in a landslide before. Absolutely loves Florida golf. That price is good enough for me. Let's take an afternoon nap with Jake. He pulled out last week, thank God, before he hit a ball. But this guy, Donnie, every single tournament this year, he's popping up in the top 10. And what do we got for a flyer? Nikolai Højgaard. He kind of let me down last week, but at 90 to 1, I got to take him. Top 5. This is the question. What do we do with Scotty Scheffler? So I'm watching Golf Channel, new driver, new attitude. He was out there literally for hours pounding balls. Like, he looked pissed. Like, he looked absolutely brutal. So I'll take him at plus 100. I think he shows up this week. Top 20s. Victor Hovland plus 125. Ricky Fowler playing great golf under the radar. Great in this tournament as well. Plus 180. Burger Time plus 190. Put him on the grill. And Sahith Theegala had a great Sunday last week. Top 40, Joe, my new favorite golfer, Ricky Castillo. Yeah. He got it done last week in Puerto Rico. For this guy, I'm a Ricky fan. Doing it for his grandma and his girlfriend. Big fan of this kid. Watch out for Ricky Castillo, the new thing on tour. This kid has got moxie. He's got game, and he's plus 120 for a top 40.
Yeah, it's going to be a great tournament here as we get started. The unofficial 5th major here, the Players' Championship. And before you know it, we'll be ready to go with the Masters here. Some big-time star-studded fields and supergroups. Scheffler, Fleetwood, JT, Morikawa, Oberg, Siwoo Kim. You got Koepka, Batia, and Finau. Great stuff, Cam Stewart. Thank you so much for joining us. And by the way, again, looking fantastic on camera. That's Cam Stewart. We'll have him on again. Absolutely. We'll be right back after this short break. There must be trouble in paradise. Oh, we're hitting everything that you need to know right here on the early line on a Wednesday. It's a hump day. It's what we do. It's Donnie and Joe. And first, we're going to get down to some business in the WBC. Then we're going to be like, wait, what actually happened yesterday? If you haven't heard here, Randy Arozarena and also Cal Raleigh are teammates in Seattle. ESPN sends out a tweet. Randy Arozarena had vulgar words for Seattle Mariners teammate Cal Raleigh after he was left hanging at the WBC. Raleigh did not accept a handshake offer from Arozarena before an at-bat in the United States 5-3 victory over Mexico on Monday. Cal said, you know what? We're boys, just not right now. And is Arozarena being sarcastic? Joe, what are we expecting here?
Yeah, and this will all go away once the season starts for Seattle. They'll be perfectly fine. And listen, you don't know what's going on. I mean, there's no rule or anything written in the contract says you got to like all your teammates, right? So you're especially not going to like them when I'm trying to beat them. So, yeah, it's, listen, when the season starts, we're teammates. Right now, you're on the other team. I want nothing to do with you. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's like we like the spirit of competition. Like one of those competitive souls in the history of professional sports was Kobe Bryant. And he would tell you, I will eat you alive on this court. Then we might be able to be best friends later. And even in the Olympics, he loved Pau Gasol. He tried to kill Pau Gasol in one of those Olympic games here. It's just the way it is, the spirit of competition. They'll be boys the minute they get back to Seattle. A brotherly spat. Hey, let me talk to them. Yep, we're boys again. No big deal. Joe, do you remember back in the day, collecting Major League Baseball cards at the height of it in the 1980s? I'm going to be a millionaire if I get the right card. How about Ronald Acuna Jr.'s 2026 World Baseball Classic Topps Now card? Card 19, excuse me. $5.25 each, Joe. This could be bigger than Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're already investing in a few of them, Donnie, and do it now
NFTs.
Before he gets hurt again. Yes, hurry up, because he'll likely play 3 games and get hurt again. So please, invest now while you can, Donnie.
By the way, how many NFTs, Joe, did you buy? Did you buy an NFT of Kevin Walsh or Joe Lisi or even myself here at the SportsGrid Network? Are you making money on those?
Yeah, I bought them, but then somehow they got deleted from my computer, so I don't know where they are anymore, Donnie. So that was the end of that.
Can't find the hard drive on that one. No, by the way, I saved all mine on a floppy disk, just trying to get that reworked on my Commodore 64 at this point right now. Let's get to the madness, which happened yesterday. Was it baseball? Yeah, it wasn't actually basketball. Tuning into the game, I was like, let me tune into Italy. Should be able to easily beat this team. Nolan McLean's on the mound. I turned the game on, Joe. They were already down the U.S. A couple swings later, they were down 5-0. I said to myself, am I watching the right thing here? And they lost. USA lost to Italy, 8-6. Italy is now 3-0 in pool play. The United States drops to 3-1 and needs help, Joe, to advance to the knockout stage now.
Yeah, and DeRosa, the manager, caused all sorts of issues after this game, Donnie, because it appears that he had already thought heading into that game last night at 3-0 in the tournament, that already advanced them to the next round, that they didn't need to do anything more, which might explain why Ernie Clement and Goldschmidt were in that lineup there last night. But yeah, no, he really miscalculated, he said, and misspoke and miscalculated. I think he really thought they didn't need to. The game was optional against Italy, that they didn't necessarily need to leave it all out on the line there because they had already made it to the next round. But guess what? They didn't, Donnie. And now there is a scenario in which they get bounced out altogether, which is just crazy to me.
Hear me out once again. You never know how these tournaments play out, Joe, but it was apparent, as we called it before the WBC started. You're going to play Brazil. Do they even have a baseball in that country? Do they know what a bat is, and can they even compete? No, they can't. Great Britain, great story here, trying to compete, inferior here. And then you say to yourself, well, let's use Skubal in one of those starts. When you could have possibly had Skubal against Italy going 4 or 5 innings and not giving up a single base hit, and the U.S. finally finds their bats and wins. You hit the nail in the head. Like, if your manager doesn't understand the consequences here, and it doesn't matter who we throw out there will actually beat at this point. Like, McLean is still a young pitcher. He's not a veteran pitcher in Major League Baseball. You could have had Skubal in that start. You could have had Skeens in that start, but you factored on playing it a little bit differently, Joe. If this comes back to bite, like, the first time in WBC history, if the United States team took it seriously somewhat, it might not make it out of pool stage, Joe? Like, am I hearing that correct?
Two scenarios, Donnie. Italy has to beat Mexico to bail them out, and Italy and Team USA would advance. Or Mexico needs to beat Italy by 5 or more runs here, and then Mexico and USA would advance.
Interesting, people. Italia! We'll be back. Hour number 2 coming up next. Hour number 2, it's official on the early line. What do we have planned for you in this hour? Kevin Walsh, host of Game Time Decisions from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the network. And also a little prediction markets edge to get you ready for a little different look at how you can invest your money, particularly in some of today's basketball games and some politics as well. And away we go, Joe. It's 2 hours. It's not 1 hour. We still got to bring the heat for this hour.
Yes, we do. We got still a lot going on here, and we just talked about it, Donnie, last hour, where Team USA could very well be on the verge of getting bounced out of the World Baseball Classic, and they were the favorite to win it all. Unreal.
The crazy part about this, too, is like the WBC is played in the United States, partly because like everybody wants to be around where spring training is so you can easily, get out of town and be in your, Cactus League or your Grapefruit League immediately after that. But the fact of the matter is also, Joe, they need the ratings for the United States to increase. If the United States team is not in the knockout stages, they will absolutely plummet, Joe.
It will be the least watched World Baseball Classic of all time. I don't even think Ohtani can save them at that particular point. But we had said it a lot of time. Listen, there wasn't a lot of value in backing Team USA. That maybe the defending champions maybe have a leg up on them this year again, and it could very well be that way.
Yeah, we might need a 30 for 30 on this WBC from the Americans' perspective here at this point. Let's get into some of those hot topics. And some of those hot topics put people in hot water. Front Office Sports with a tweet yesterday, exclusive. Steve Cohen denies knowing Jeffrey Epstein after a photo of the Mets owner with a redacted person appeared in the recent DOJ files. Quote, there was no relationship between Steve and Jeffrey Epstein. Tough scene here.
Yeah, just it's man, none of it is good. And the more photos that people dig up on those DOJ files, the worse it's going to get. And they all seem to either own teams. They all seem to have some sort of major influence here. It's kind of crazy like that.
All running in the same circles, catching up to you now. I didn't know that guy. Well, what's this picture about? Where'd that picture come from? Oh, yeah, it was a birthday party back in 2002 at this point. Everything's coming to light right now. Everybody trying to deflect, and we'll see where it certainly goes. Let's get to the early lineup. Also talking about Max Crosby. Talking about deflection here. How about a deflection from the Baltimore Ravens? Yeah, we want Max Crosby as 2 first-rounders. Come on down, Max. Ooh. Don't know if I like what that knee is looking like right now, and who knows what that's going to be in 2 to 3 years. Hey, Max, how about a return trip back to Vegas? Sound good? See ya. Max Crosby, no longer a Raven.
Kind of crazy. I mean, the Raiders made all those moves in free agency and spent that money thinking they had 2 number 1 picks coming their way, and yet the Ravens might have had a little bit of buyer's remorse, Donnie, once they figured out who left the team and what's going on. So maybe they just used the whole failed a physical as an excuse just to get back those picks.
Yeah, we'll see how quickly Max Crosby has moved. Like, if I would have bet on the Kalshi predictive markets here at who's going to be going back to, Vegas and playing, certainly ain't going to be Max Crosby at this point. Just an amazing story that broke last night. Never thought I would see it, but he's going back. 2 first-round picks are getting traded. Teams are upset. The Ravens are upset. The Raiders are upset as the world turns here. Caleb Foster, superstar for the Duke Blue Devils, fractured foot. Not sure if he's back for the ACC tournament, which looks like a long shot. Or maybe if Duke can make a run to the Final Four, which would be about a month away, could he be back? Not a good sign heading into conference play here, Joe, where you're down one of your better players.
Yeah, again, it's not that, oh boy, just throw it away. Now they can't win. Yeah, of course they can. But that door is a little bit more open for some of the other teams come March Madness. I don't think it's going to matter in the ACC tournament. I think they're still going to run away with that. But maybe once March Madness comes as a number 1 seed, we get to that the 16, the Elite 8, the Final 4. That's where it might be an issue.
Usually the young elite players go right away in the tampering schemes, Joe, here. When we say tampering, the NFL, you can sign free agents. I believe today is the official day to sign, but you can come to agreements here. How about Trey Hendrickson? He wants $30 to $40 million as an edge rusher. He hasn't been signed yet. I wonder if somebody's going to meet those demands, Joe.
Well, he does. He's basically put out there with his people that he is going to make a decision today. There are offers on the table. Which one will he take? What will he go? It remains to be seen. But he is saying that he will have a decision later on today. So we will know one way or another where, if he's going anywhere, we'll know here by today.
When healthy, Joe, as we know, certainly a game changer. Everybody needs pass rush help. He's out there to the highest bidder he goes. We'll see how quickly that deal does get done. Geno Smith, how about this deal? Restructures and moving on back to the New York Jets. Joe, who says you can't go home?
Yeah, it's the Jets
Joe
being the Jets. Yes, the Jets being the Jets. Again, the only saving grace here is that tells me by trading for Geno Smith that they have no intention of reaching for a quarterback in this draft. They got 3 number 1s next year. That's when you go get your quarterback. You need a veteran guy. Sure, why not Geno Smith here? It's still better than Joe Flacco.
How about this? Geno Smith, he wants to play all those games with the Jets, but meanwhile, there's a head coach in the NBA named Steve Kerr. It's like, we play to win the game, but there's too many games out here. Let's hear from Steve Kerr right now.
I know this will not be a popular opinion in the league office, but I will continue to say it because it's obvious we need to play fewer games. We need to take 10 games off the schedule. I think it would be great for the league. And I get it. It's revenue, and you'd have to get everybody to agree to take a little less money, and that's a really hard thing to do. But what I know about the league, about coaching, about how hard it is to play the modern game with the pace and the space, I think it would be a more competitive and healthier league if we played fewer games.
You know what, Joe, make me commissioner. Here's what I'm going to do for the NBA, right? You know, in college football, before the season starts, like the AP poll comes out and they vote on teams that haven't even played yet. I want to see that done in the NBA. And then I don't even want a regular season. I just want to have every single team in the playoffs in a bracket, and then we'll find out who the champion is. Because you know what we're going to get out of that? Nobody's saying, oh, I'm going to sit this game out. Nobody's saying it's too many games. Nobody's saying it's load management night. Just get to the playoffs. Not a single person cares about the regular season. It's horrendous in the NBA, but we love the playoffs. Just give us the playoffs. How about that, Joe?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the Washington Wizards looked like they couldn't wait to play that game. I mean, they were trying hard last night to beat the Miami Heat and send Bam Adebayo to the free throw line 43 times. But yeah, listen, it all trickles down. You think you're going to get anything different by playing 60 games than your current? No, you're not. Your star players are still going to load manage. They're always going to come up with an excuse, Donnie, as to why they can't play back-to-backs or this or it's, you know, we're past that point. You know, stick a fork in it, man. The NBA, not good right now at all.
Exactly. We just want honest efforts here. The season is way too long. The players tell you that by sitting it out. If you have leagues where you're just designed to miss 25 games so you're staying fresh for the playoffs, what are we doing with this sport? Let's talk about another topic here. Gary Woodland, interesting story, Joe, opens up on PTSD, struggle post-brain surgery. My goodness.
Yeah, one of the really good guys on tour, and it was it's a fascinating story, and his and his comeback to still be on tour there. It's kind of crazy when you think about where he was, the surgery, and then coming back to where he is now. It's kind of crazy, Donnie. It really is.
It's scary stuff. It's everyday news that you hear. Like, some people just go through different things that you don't know about, and it's good to hear them talk about it because maybe somebody else going through those same type of things can certainly help you out at this point. But those were the hot topics. It's a Wednesday. It's a hump day. Still have a great hour coming up, which includes next Kevin Walsh. Going to join us next, host of Game Time Decisions right here on the SportsGrid Network, 6 to 7 p.m. What's he talking about? You care what he's talking about? I do. Let's go, Kevin. Bring the heat next. Hump Day Wednesday. You know how we get down to business. On the early line, Donnie right side, along with Joe Ranieri, and we welcome in Kevin Walsh, the host of Game Time Decisions, right here on the SportsGrid Network, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, with Gabriel Morency. And this guy's been known in the SportsGrid League here. You go around and say, did you ever have 83 points for a SportsGrid team here, Kevin, while playing basketball? We saw 83 last night. And there's like the balance of scales going, ooh, some liked it, some didn't, Kevin. Let's start right there. Did we like that?
I loved the first three quarters.
Okay.
I enjoyed the first 5 to 6 minutes of the fourth. And then we were watching 2K. But not like 2K streamers, like you and your brother who decided they were going to chase a record in a 2K game together to unlock an achievement. I cannot believe that Miami Heat fans are under the impression that everyone who is angry is just a Kobe Bryant fan. I would not be accused of that label. That is not how anyone would necessarily describe me. This isn't about me being upset about the Kobe number. The Miami Heat leaving Bam Adebayo in up 25 against a team who's desperate to lose, where he played the entire second half, is pushing it a little bit. I could listen to it. The Miami Heat letting Bam take every shot, I'm fine with that. In fact, there were far too many Keyshawn Johnson shots for my liking. There were a couple of moments where Pelly Larson was calling his own number, and I couldn't figure out why. But when the Miami Heat start fouling the Wizards 4 seconds into the shot clock to extend the game, we have now completely lost the plot. And, it just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't. And again, Heat fans like, everybody's a hater. This isn't true. We've watched countless people score 70, and it's no problem. We've seen people score 60 plus in three quarters and not play the fourth. The Heat cannot act as if Bam Adebayo got this in the flow of the basketball game. I know you're a South Beach guy here, Ranieri. That was not normal what we watched out of Miami last night.
Well, but here's the thing, and again, if you're playing a team that's going to allow you to do that and get away with it, then you know what? Have fun and do it. Because I can tell you this: if a team is up 14-0 in the fifth inning, and you're still taking pitches in the sixth inning, and the next guy up doesn't get a 100-mile-an-hour fastball right in his face. The game is supposed to take care of itself. At least it used to anyway. But now the Wizards were more than happy to be complicit in watching the Heat do it. And if you're not going to do anything to stop it, why am I going to go out of my way to stop doing it?
It's so crazy because I think this may be the only time I would agree with that entire notion. I watched the entire fourth quarter. I watched a little bit more than that, but at some point I did think Washington was going to clothesline Bam. Like there was a moment where I'm like, oh my God, Spoelstra is going to get Bam injured because he's chasing. I don't even know the best is, Joe, I didn't even know what he was chasing for half of it, right? Is he chasing 70? Is it 75? Like, Spoelstra just kept moving the goalposts. I almost think Washington, to your point, was like, you know what? We're totally fine with him scoring 70. You know what? That's fun. We got 70 scored on us, right? It wasn't until Bam had 76 points, they were like, this is a little embarrassing. And that is the state of the Wizards. I'm just saying, maybe they can get Embiid healthy for one game and he can chase 85 against this Washington basketball team.
Just to knock him off. And by the way, Kevin, I was joking to start the show. It's like one of those things where it's like, he got 83 points, but in like 10 years, you're going to have a trivia game. It's like, name the 3 guys that scored 80-plus points. But Kobe did it, Wilt did it. Now, who was the third guy that actually did it? Because it doesn't feel like a historic marker was hit last night. It just doesn't.
No, this is the thing. Again, I know there are games. We'll get to the games, I promise. And even if we don't get to the games now, they've gotten to the games, and we will get to the games on Game Time Decisions. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. This matters. That is a part of it as well. It was Wilt and Kobe, Wilt and Kobe, Wilt and Kobe. And now it's Wilt, Bam, and Kobe. And Bam keeps saying that, and I get that that's cool for Bam. But that's not like, oh, man, I'm going to break Bam's 83. Who? Who's Bam? Was that an old nickname for Dominique? I didn't know Michael Jordan went by Bam for a stretch of his career. So that part of it doesn't help, right? It doesn't help that he shot under 50% from the floor. It doesn't help that he took 40 free throws. Like, it doesn't help. It doesn't make the whole thing feel better. There came a moment in that game where it went from this is cool to this is gross. That's how I feel. And that shouldn't be the case when someone accomplishes something like this.
Yeah, it's like in the future, but well, who was Bam? You're right about that. Was George Mikan's middle name Bam? Like, how did we get to this point? Who's Bam Adebayo at this point? But 80-plus points scored. It's an amazing feat. But, Kevin, we are going to get to some of these basketball games today, which includes the Houston Rockets going to elevation to take on the Denver Nuggets. How about the Nuggets favored by 5.5 points in a total of 230.5? Maybe Jokic gets inspired because apparently Jokic is already saying he wants to retire because Wemby's that good. Guy hates basketball, but he's going to play tonight, Kevin. What do we think?
Now, let me get right back to defending the good name of the NBA. You two jokers talking about how awful the regular season is when Nuggets Thunder the other night is one of the best regular season games we've had in the last half decade. 2 MVPs throwing daggers at one another, both flirted with 30-point triple-doubles. Jokic got his. Shea had to settle for 35, 9, and 15. Denver's in a very bizarre spot. We know how good they are, but they are always injured. You always have to comb through this injury report here. And I know the Rockets are on the second leg of a back-to-back, but I have some temptation with Houston here, whether that be on the 5.5 or even flirting with the money line here. It's a Rockets team that was punked by the Spurs just 2 games ago. I'd like to think the Rockets can step up and meet the moment and challenge this Denver team the way a lot of teams have been challenging Denver lately, guys.
By the way, you'll like this, Kevin. I've been seeing a tweet go around. It has like 800 responses on a guy that gave out Bam Adebayo 35.5 points and rebounds for the under. Getting roasted, people. Get roasted tonight on Game Time Decisions here. It's Gabe and it's Kevin. And away they go at 6 o'clock. Make sure you tune in. We'll be right back. So much fun here. Isn't this great? It's Hump Day Wednesday, getting you ready. The hot topics don't seem to stop, and not going to stop right here. Let's get back to the NBA, Joe. How about this? Luka Doncic's partner, Anna Maria Goltis, has taken their 2 kids back to Slovenia and has filed a petition for child support. This comes after Anna Maria recently deleted all photos of Luka off her Instagram profile. Trouble in paradise, man. And by the way, he does have a Dallas connection here. Dak broke up. Now Luka broke up. What's going on, Joe?
Well, I remember, was it last year when Luka had to go, like, oh, he's having the birth of his kid, his second, like, wait a minute, what? He's got a, when, is he married? Like, nobody had any clue as to what's going on with his personal life here, which is, and I'm okay with that, but unfortunately, yeah, the cat's out of the bag now, and this is going to be, TMZ-led story from here throughout the rest of the season.
Yep, and also Luka Doncic fined $50 large for directing an inappropriate and unprofessional gesture toward an official. Officials getting a lot of hate these days, Joe.
Yeah, they are. Just don't bet on the games, officials. We'll be good to go. They're keeping an eye on you. Just letting you know that. Yeah, they are getting a lot of heat, but, and that's another thing, Donnie, last night.
Yeah.
Will you stop blowing the whistle? Stop blowing. Just let them play. Like, why are you blowing the whistle so many times in a game that was already over? Unreal.
Famous song, Blow the Whistle here, Joe. And by the way, it's not nice when you have like, hey, let me look like a NASCAR race car driver out here when I'm playing on the PGA Tour. Justin Thomas, not a lot of wins as of late. He's looking for a clothing sponsor. Let's hear from him.
Has it been refreshing to be able to pick your own clothes, and are you going to do any scripting for the majors?
It's refreshing, but it's also it's harder. Like I mean, my wife will tell you, like, I sit there and I'll just stare in my closet and look, and I'm like, all right, I can do this with this and this. And it's, I mean, I love clothes. I love fashion. Like I've always enjoyed it. So that being said, when it comes to like packing, I'm not having her pick the stuff out for me, or like I'm not just kind of grabbing some pants and shirts. Like I like to put together outfits and figure it out. But because I'm doing it, it's probably taking me quite a bit longer than it did it the other way. But that being said, it's still, like I said, it's fun to be able to do to me, and it's not it's just kind of like whatever you're waking up and feeling that day type thing. But may have to put a little more thought of it ahead of time for some weeks.
What was your
Isn't he best friends with Tiger Woods? Have a little Sunday Red as a sponsorship. Call up your friend, get a sponsorship deal going.
Like, I can't, Donnie. Like, on so many levels,
That's
like, I can't. Dude, it's not that hard. Like, here, black pants and wear a shirt. You're good to go. Not that hard to figure out, man. You're good to go. I mean, how about you get back to winning golf tournaments? That would be fantastic. How about we worry about that and not what color shoes you're wearing? My goodness.
That's what that's somebody in the press conference should have asked that question. Like, hey, shouldn't you be worried about winning this golf tournament as opposed to what color belt you're going to wear this weekend? It is what it is. Fade the public, people. Let's see what we're digging on today. No surprises here right now at SportsGrid. Which NBA scoring performance was more impressive? Bam's 83 points versus Washington, Kobe's 81 versus Toronto, or other? Leading the charge is Kobe with over 58% right now, which is down from the 66.7 earlier today. A lot of Bam Adebayo fans woke up. 25% for Bam. Stop it.
Kobe, what? 28 of 46, 18 of 20 from the free throw line, 81. Nobody was giving him, extra possessions and fouling, trying to get him going there. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, there is absolutely zero video footage of anything to do with Will Chamberlain. So we'll just have to take people's words for it. But yeah, I would have to go with Kobe as well. And I'm a Heat guy, but yeah, Kobe for me.
We got video of everything but the 100-point night in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Let's get to some of these best bets. Here comes Bye. Rapid fire, Joe. Who you got?
Yeah, listen, Kentucky taking on LSU. The number is rising here, but I think it's a double-digit win. I know they've lost 5 of their last 7, but I think they're very motivated to make a big statement in this game against LSU. I'll lay it with them.
I'm going to go in the association tonight. Take a team that's been very kind to me over the past couple weeks. That's the New Orleans Pelicans, only getting 30% of the tickets, but only getting 1.5 points tonight from the Toronto Raptors. Home cooking down in New Orleans. Give me that gumbo. Give me that 1.5. Give me the Pelicans. Let's go 2-0 today on a Wednesday. That's how we get down to business. Prediction, market's edge on the early line. It's coming up next, people.